Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through that digital noise and really focus on what helps your business thrive. You know how it is, right? Those big platforms we kind of rely on, they can change the rules sometimes. Poof. Just like that, not much warning. Well, today we've got a really timely deep dive. It's a bit of a wake-up call, honestly, for anyone in short-term rentals, but really for anyone using these platforms for their business. We're zeroing in on a big move by Airbnb, a real giant. And it perfectly shows this broader trend happening online. It really boils down to that old saying, doesn't it? You build your house on someone else's land, you're just renting. And, well, they can change the lease anytime.
Exactly. And what's so important to grasp here is this isn't just, an Airbnb thing. It's not isolated. If you connect the dots, look at the bigger picture, it points to a really fundamental shift in how these digital platforms work. Almost predictable in a way. We even have names for it now, right? Like Enshittification, which, yeah, it's a blunt term, but it captures how user experience can degrade over time.
Yeah.
And Technofeudalism, this idea of digital landlords basically collecting rent from everyone operating in their space. It affects everything.
It really does. So our mission for you today, listening in, is not just to understand why this is happening, why it matters so much, but more importantly, what can you actually do about it? We want to explore some real, tangible strategies. Things to build resilience, to really own your digital future, Moving beyond just renting your distribution, it's about empowering you, helping you become the architect of your own digital house, brick by brick. Okay, so what's the trigger? What specifically kicked off this conversation right now? Well, our sources are pointing to this pretty significant policy change from Airbnb. It's got people talking, they're changing their fee structure, specifically for PMS-connected hosts. The pros using property management systems, they're being moved to a flat 15.5% host-only fee. Now, this isn't just a little tweak. People are calling it a platform tax increase, a real wake-up call. And it's set for October 27th, 2025.
October 27th, yeah. So there's some lead time, which is something, I suppose.
True, there is some time. But it definitely underlines the urgency, doesn't it? It's a very clear signal about who's really in control.
Absolutely. And it brings up that critical question for anyone relying on these platforms. What does it really mean when a platform you depend on just ups your costs like that substantially? The source material calls this out as like a classic platform playbook. We've seen this movie before. First, they lure everyone in, right? Users, businesses, great terms, huge audience access, often really cheap or even free to start. But then once everyone's hooked, deeply integrated, the platform starts using its power. They begin to squeeze, extracting more value, the slow creep, degrading terms for businesses, maybe even letting the user experience slip a bit to make more profit. That's Enshittification in action. And yeah, that connects directly to Technofeudalism. These platforms become like digital lords, collecting their tax, their rent from everyone in their kingdom. This Airbnb move, it's a perfect example. It forces that hard question. Are you just going to keep renting your distribution? Or is it time to start actually owning it?
Sure.
Because right now you're building on land you don't own, and the landlord can change the rules anytime. Maybe it's time to become your own landlord.
That hits home. And the message for you listening, it's profound. This isn't just about short-term rentals, not at all. It's a really clear symptom of this larger digital trend. It affects you if you're a creator on YouTube, selling on Amazon, offering services on Upwork, anywhere like that. If you don't own that direct line to your audience, your customers, someone else does. And you can bet they will use that control to their advantage eventually. Okay, so if you're feeling that pressure or you just want to get ahead of it, what's step one? What's the first defense? Our sources are really clear on this. Diversify. Spread things out. Yes, Airbnb is huge, incredibly powerful, no denying that. But it is absolutely not the entire market, not even close. You need what the source calls distribution resilience. Think of it like investing, right? You wouldn't put your life savings into one single volatile stock, would you? Same idea here for your business online. So concretely, this means making sure you're visible beyond just the one main player. The source specifically mentions others like Booking.com, VRBO, Google Vacation Rentals, even looking into smaller niche OTAs, online travel agencies.
It's about casting a wider net, making sure people can find you, book you, buy from you through multiple doors, not just one big gatekeeper. You want to spread your bets, basically. Reduce that dependency on any single point of failure.
And the smart play here, what's really strategic, isn't just being listed everywhere haphazardly. It's about being smart. The source really highlights matching the right kind of guest or customer with the right channel. It makes sense, right? So for instance, families looking for week-long stays, they might still gravitate towards Vrbo. It has that reputation. Business travelers, maybe Booking.com is a better fit with its focus on hotels and corporate stays. And, younger travelers looking for unique urban experiences, maybe Airbnb Airbnb is still their go-to. So it's this tailored approach. You're not just listing passively, you're actively targeting different audience segments where they actually hang out. That's how you start to break free from having just one digital landlord, setting all your terms, deciding your income.
That's such a key point. It's strategic diversification. You're not just spreading risk. You're actually building a much stronger, more stable foundation for your business overall. You become less vulnerable. And in a way, you gain a bit more indirect bargaining power, maybe, because you're not totally reliant on them. Okay, diversification is step one. You've spread out across different channels. Great. But let's be real, you're still, to some degree, playing on other companies' fields, right? So what's the next level? What's the ultimate play for real independence, for long-term security? Our sources are unanimous here. Go direct first. This isn't just like a nice to have. It's presented as a fundamental shift, a mindset change. The source puts it so well. A listing is not a business. A brand is. Think about that. You're not just a line item in a directory. You're building an identity, something unique that exists outside any single marketplace. So what does that look like in practice? It means taking real steps, like launching your own website. And critically, make sure it has smooth, instant booking capability. Make it easy for people, as easy as the platforms. And maybe the most crucial part, capture emails. Build that list.
Oh, absolutely. That email list is digital gold. Seriously.
Right. It's that direct, unfiltered connection to your customers. No platform can get in the middle, control it, or take it away. You own that relationship. Start building it from day one. And think about offering real perks. Things repeat guests or customers actually care about. Early check-in, local deals, loyalty discounts.
Things that make them want to bypass the platform and come straight to you. And if you zoom out, look at the long game here. The real goal is shifting from just, one-off transactions to building lifelong relationships. Airbnb or any platform, they basically rent the customer for that one booking, right? That's their model, transactional. But when you go direct first, you have the chance to own that customer relationship for life. You're building loyalty, encouraging repeat business that happens completely outside of platform control. That's an incredibly valuable asset. It's proprietary, it grows over time, and it protects you from these external shocks, these policy changes. You're basically building a community around your brand, creating fans, advocates, building a real moat around your business.
That really captures the power of it, doesn't it? Building your own customer base. It's not just about getting the next booking, the next sale. It's about building a sustainable business that runs on its own engine. You're nurturing those direct connections, keeping the value for yourself, instead of letting a third party take a big cut and mediate everything. All right, now for the next strategy. And this one. This might really shift how you think about things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're used to just, uploading photos and writing a description. Stop thinking like you're just a static entry in a directory. Start thinking like a creator, like a media company. It's about bringing your property, your service, your whole brand, bringing it to life, making it engaging, captivating, building that connection before they even think about clicking book or buy. And the source gives some great practical ideas here, like create a 60-second vertical video tour for every property. Think, TikTok style, Instagram reels, short, immersive, giving a real feel for the place, the personality.
Yeah, that's so much more powerful than static photos.
Totally. It's about consistent content, too. Maybe weekly updates, not just set and forget photos. Tell a story. Show a moment. Build trust. It goes way beyond just listing features. It shows the experience, the vibe, the soul of what you offer.
And this brings up a really important question. Why does this content stuff matter so much? Why is it so effective? Because honestly, people don't inherently trust platforms all that much. Not deep down. Who do they trust? They trust people. They trust authenticity. They trust seeing something real. So when you invest in creating that engaging, authentic content, maybe it's that video tour, maybe it's you sharing a local tip, a peek behind the scenes, you're building that personal connection. You're building trust directly with your audience. You're showing your personality, the unique character of what you offer, something a generic platform listing just can't capture. And that deeper connection, that makes direct bookings way more likely. It builds real, lasting loyalty.
And that unique identity, that real connection you build, that becomes your unfair advantage, right? Your competitive edge. It takes you from being just another option on a list to being a desired experience, something people seek out specifically. You're not just renting a room or selling a widget, you're inviting them into your story.
Yeah.
And that kind of relationship, that lasts way longer than any platform's fee hike or policy tweak. Okay, so we've covered these strategies. Diversify, go direct, think like media. They're empowering, proactive. But let's also be real for a second. Let's ground ourselves. The hard truth, and our source says this very plainly, is that platforms will always platform. That's what they do. Fees will always creep up. Policies will always tighten. It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it?
It seems to be the predictable path, yeah.
It's not really a question of if these things will happen, but more like when and how much.
Exactly. Which means you can't control the platform. You just can't. You don't set their fees. You don't control their algorithms. You don't write their policies. But, and this is the absolute key takeaway, you can control your brand. You can build your own audience. You can tell your own story. Focusing on what you can control, your sphere of influence, that's how you win in the long run. Pouring your energy, your resources into building your assets, your direct relationships, that's what creates real, lasting resilience. It's a mindset shift, really, from being a tenant, always subject to the landlord, to being the architect, the owner of your own digital space.
That completely reframes it, doesn't it? It gives you back the power, the agency over your own business, your own story. Instead of just reacting to whatever the platforms throw at you, you're proactively building something solid, something you control. That feels, well, empowering. So, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you? Whether you're managing short-term rentals or running any business that relies on these digital platforms. We've really unpacked 3 core ideas today, haven't we? 1, diversify. Don't rely on just one channel. Spread things out. 2, go direct first. Build your own brand, your own website, and relentlessly capture those direct customer relationships, especially emails. And 3, think like media. Tell your story creatively, build trust, bring your brand to life. It's all about taking these proactive steps, building real resilience in what's clearly a very dynamic, always changing digital world.
Yeah, this whole deep dive, it really lays out what the source calls an escape plan, doesn't it? An escape from just being dependent on platforms. It really pushes you to ask yourself, what parts of my online presence are actually mine? Truly mine? Am I building on solid ground that I own? Or am I just building on rented land, always vulnerable to the landlord changing the terms? And maybe the biggest question, how can I keep building and strengthening my own house, my brand, my audience, my direct channels, instead of just paying rent to live in someone else's digital empire?
That's a powerful thought to end on, and it applies so broadly, way beyond just the initial Airbnb trigger we discussed. We really hope you take these strategies, mull them over, and see how they fit into your own business, your own ventures. Think hard about that digital ownership, about independence, and about how you can start taking back control of your future. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it sparks some real action on your path to digital autonomy.